Imagine feeling such deep sadness that feels heavy on your chest and fills your eyes up with tears and kind of makes you want to do nothing for the rest of the day, if not ever. Or maybe you just experienced this really hard event that took the rug from under your feet, and now you're not quite sure what your life is going to look like next. Or maybe you have a chronic illness and it progressively gets worse, or some days are good and some days are bad and you don't know what to expect. Imagine having that kind of day, that kind of moment, that kind of now, and you choose to light some candles, make yourself tea, put on the saddest movie, wear your coziest PJs, and then grab your nice and fluffy blanket and wrap yourself like a burrito and just relax and cry if that's what you want to do, and just allow yourself to be sad on your soft and cuddly sofa. I was told this story by someone many years ago, and to me it was almost hard to believe that you could take something that at the time I perceived negative and make it seem so special, make it seem so embracing, so loving, like someone giving you a warm hug. And at first I was perplexed, and then I thought to myself, why not? Like, who said that being sad is a negative thing and it should be treated as such? And who said having any kind of down feeling means that you have to hide away from the world or punish yourself in some way until you feel better? Good morning, sunshine. I made you some tea. I hope you're okay with that. I made me some too. I thought we have a chat about romanticizing your life. I feel like forever it's been really easy for me to romanticize all the things that I considered good. If my business was doing well, if I went on a vacation, if I had a party, if I explored. One of my favorite things is exploring, and if you're new to me, hi, my name is Karen, and my daughters and I have been traveling full-time for the past 6 years, and therefore every time we traveled or explored, to me that was easy to romanticize. And you know, I think we all do it. We take pictures, we make YouTube videos, and you know, post it on social media, share it with people. We come back from a trip and we might have a photo album to share of all of our adventures. But to me, this story that I was told was very significant and a turning point in my life. And don't get me wrong, it's something I'm still personally working on. I think having a chronic illness, my life changes very drastically and non-stop. And every time it changes, I wonder, you know, like, how do I feel about this? And a lot of times I have a little bit of dread. And even though I try to embrace the dread and try to, you know, kind of sit with it and feel it so it doesn't accumulate within me and then I explode, I also try to think why I feel this way. Because I feel in every negative emotion, there's a spark of creativity. I have had much difficulty finding my creativity in my illness. I find that it's hard to share when you're not doing well because, you know, you share energy, you transfer energy. And I've always loved sunshine. I've always loved emanating peace. And I can't say I always feel peaceful when I'm sick or when I'm having a really bad day. And revisiting the story kind of helps me align and get my thoughts in order and not get lost on the feeling, not let my feeling just drag me down and forget everything else that's happening in the world. Because maybe you're not experiencing a chronic illness, but if you're experiencing any kind of sadness, of pain, of maybe a big change that you're not used to experiencing, there's good and bad that you have to allow yourself to feel. But within that, I think the most important thing is for you allow it to flow while romanticizing it. And I know, like, bear with me, it sounds a little bit odd, right? for you to almost celebrate being sad, for you to celebrate being sick, for you to celebrate anything that it's off-putting usually. But I have to say that along with my illness comes the fact that I can walk and I can breathe and I can still once in a while go out and explore. And on the days I can't, I get to be all cozy under my covers, maybe watching my favorite movie, maybe having the time to create something that I wouldn't usually, because you know, you have your shits in your life, like the things that create wealth for you to be able to pay bills. So it's very important in me sitting with my sadness or embracing how sick I might feel at the moment. Also, creating this atmosphere of peace. I can accept my illness as something that I maybe would wish I didn't have, and at the same time create an atmosphere in which I can find my heart and find my peace and a feeling I can actually resonate with and embrace while I let the negativity flow. Both thoughts can be held together at the same time, and I don't have to assign necessarily a negative connotation on my feeling of dread, on my feeling of fear, on my feeling of sadness. Everything plays a role in life. I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't been through everything I have. And I have so much to thank the negative things that have happened in my life for. If I had never gotten a divorce, my kids would have never been homeschooled. If my kids would have never been homeschooled, I would have never sold my business. If I wasn't ill, I would have never started traveling full time. I would have probably started another business right after. And I have created a life of luxury and peace thanks to these triggers. I feel like things that we perceive as negative sometimes have a way of sparking this desire for something new within us, and it opens the door for something incredible to come next. We're so powerful and we really are capable of so much, and these moments that test us are really a catalyst for so much that's out there in the world. I think for me in my life, those moments make me a little bit more brave, because when things are going well or when things are almost like stagnant and I'm at peace, I embrace that moment and I don't want to let go. I want to hold on to that peace as much as possible. And it isn't until the ground is kind of shaken from under me that all of a sudden I get pushed to break the next glass ceiling, to push to be the better version of me, something I have never been before. And it really has become exciting, and only because I allowed it to be. So now you've seen me decorate. If you're a follower, you've seen me decorate my homes. I think nesting has become so important because I know that in those moments that I can't get out of bed, having my house feel cozy and at peace and ever embracing of me allows me to just be able to get up, make my tea, and just wrap myself like a burrito and relax and accept my body for doing what it has to do to be better the next day. I feel like romanticizing your life helps you process any emotion that you have about anything, because you're not fighting it anymore. When you don't want to be sad or you don't want to be sick, it's almost like you're fighting it, like you're trying to stop it, and things are gonna flow how they're gonna flow. So you can't feel better faster just because you want it to end. And for some of us, the illness progresses. It doesn't get better, it gets worse. And I feel like allowing yourself to romanticize that process, it creates an atmosphere of growth, because it's like you're telling the universe, no matter what happens, I know I'm gonna be okay, and even better at the end. You'll grow as a person. You'll become more understanding of yourself, and you'll even be that support system that you need. I think sometimes, especially when you have any issue that lasts longer than a few days or a couple of weeks, at the beginning of any issue, people are always there for you, or most of us have friends and family that will be there to support you. But when things start lasting for years, for months, for a long time, people have lives. But you know who you always have? You always have you. And allowing yourself to care for you in that way, it's something that you will always be able to do. You will always have. Because even if you're in a place that you can no longer decorate your room, you can no longer make yourself tea, your shift of mindset will always be there for you. You will always be able to grow along with your illness, along with your problems, along with life. Just by romanticizing every moment of your life, whether you originally perceive it as good or bad. Eventually, you'll start perceiving it as a catalyst, as another stepstone. And in the long run, it will help you grow. Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye. Thank you for having tea with me.